Hi friends, it's Rabbi Briskin with a thought for Shabbat. So let me ask you, what would you like your second act to be? Throughout the course of the pandemic, we've had time to do some serious soul searching, with more time to think and evaluate the trajectory of our lives. Many began to think about making changes. Some people voluntarily left their jobs, not knowing what might come next. Others completely changed careers. Several were in a position to retire early. Many just shifted the way they work and live, trying to find a new work-life balance so that they could better take care of themselves. In some ways, now that we are beginning to make our way out of the pandemic, we are experiencing a collective second act, asking ourselves how we can shape our future to better suit our needs, our wants, and desires. In this week's Torah portion, we find an interesting description of Abraham and Sarah right after they died. The Hebrew text uses the phrase Shnei Hayyei Sarah and Shnei Hayyei Avraham, literally translated as the two lives of Sarah and two lives of Abraham. Our sages suggest that Sarah had one life before children and another after she gave birth at the age of 90. Abraham too had two lives, a second life with the second wife and many more children after Sarah had died. Many of us can point to the two or more lives we've had or are having. Planned or unexpected career changes, significant moves from one part of the country to another, devastating events in our lives from which we recovered and grew again. Divorce or the premature death of a loved one, for example, force us to grieve, reevaluate, and then begin again, which then led to a powerful second act. Abraham and Sarah both faced trauma and upheaval in their lives. Sarah was unable to bear children until she turned 90 years old, long after she stopped believing that she could become a mother. According to our sages, that second act of being a mother at an old age were the most meaningful years of her life. After Abraham's life fell apart, following his last second aborted sacrifice of his beloved son Isaac, and then discovered that Sarah had died while he was away, he had to rebuild his life from scratch. Often overlooked in the later chapters of this portion is that after he and Isaac separated and Sarah died, leaving him alone, Abraham remarried and fathered many more children, creating a second or perhaps even a third act towards the end of his life. Depending on our age, we have or will likely have several acts in which the trajectory of our lives will unfold. What will you do to make the best of these opportunities, whether planned or not, whether born out of triumph or tragedy? Our text reminds us that second acts are as old as the Jewish tradition itself. How we prepare for them and what we may do with them may determine our ultimate satisfaction and contentment. So friends, may we continually reflect on the arc of our lives, where we've been, where we are, where we hope to go. May we always reflect and dream and work to create the next meaningful and purposeful act that will bring us joy. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.